And we're back. Hey, everybody. It's your host, Darren Carter, the party starter, with my good friend,
John DiResta.
John DiResta.
You forgot. There you go.
I was hoping you'd say your own name.
I thought you forgot it.
Oh, let's do a double take. Here we go.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, listen to a pocket party. Pocket party. Darren.
And we're back. Hey, everybody. It's your host, Darren Carter, the party starter, with my good friend,
John DiResta. I'm not sure if you know this. I'm kind of a big deal.
Oh, big deal indeed.
Yep. Yeah.
Big deal. You're such a big deal. I appreciate that, man, that you took time.
Yeah, well, I'm coming at it with a new angle. So I'm just going to warn you right now, for the next 40 minutes, I'm going to douche it up.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, thank you for letting me put my stickers on your wall here.
Yeah.
That was good.
Listen, it's all good.
Not every guest would do that, but John was cool enough to allow me to put
and they stay there.
4 stickers on his wall.
The only way they got taken down was they redid the whole house.
Yeah, now you got this nice wood floor here. You like tap dance and whatnot.
Yeah.
Before you guys could sneak around, you and your son or whatever, you could like sneak to the fridge, eat something. Now everyone's going to hear the bum, 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 bum.
Hardwood floors everywhere.
At least you don't have downstairs neighbors.
No, neighbors are the worst, dude.
I know.
The last 5 or 7 years, my wife's like, because I rent, I'm only 58.
Yeah, you're a big deal, though.
Yeah, let's switch it up. Let's go to a nice little condo. And I'm like, no, there's going to be neighbors. There's going to be a long walk with parking. Yeah. And then again, there's going to be neighbors to the side and upstairs. And, you learn to dislike people.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
I remember one time years ago, we lived at a place, and I came home late at night, and I heard the neighbor yelling at her boyfriend or husband or whatever. She was like, "F you, F you, F you, F you, F," and I was like, ugh. And then the next day, you kind of see each other at the mailbox,
Oh, that's not even bad. I'm talking like personal stuff of, this is our area versus your area. Your wife said this to my wife, and why did you? Listen, I'm going to tell you a story. I was a young comedian, maybe 6 months into it, and the sets were going way better than I thought. And all of a sudden, look, $80, $20, $100. And then I got to be on, they started a really horrible network called America's Talking.
Yeah.
It was like 24 hours of talk shows of all losers that you never heard of. So I got invited on a show, and they said, it doesn't pay, but we'll pick you up in a limo.
Nice.
And drop you off in a limo. And I lived in a condo complex in Harriman, New York, about 50 miles north of Manhattan, what's commonly known as upstate. And the limo came 2.5 hours early and just sat in the parking lot, and everybody saw it.
Wow.
Everybody. And dude, I'm not joking. Attitudes towards me and my wife and kids changed that day.
Wow.
And I wasn't peacocking.
Yeah.
I wasn't waving.
This is before you were a big deal.
This is before I was on my way. I was a little deal.
Yeah. I'm kind of a little deal.
And dude,
I was wait 2.5 hours.
It was the impetus for we need to move. And we moved to the loneliest place on earth. We moved to like an 80-acre former mental home. Just like in Ace Ventura when he was walking around with the tutu on. I think that was that movie.
Yeah.
And we were totally alone. Now we had no neighbors, nothing.
And what'd you think of that experience?
That we stayed there about a year. It was weird. We had horses, we had live turkeys, loose turkeys, goats. They all just came with this rental house.
Wow.
It was $1,000 a month. But even that got weird because the landlord lived there, and the landlord had the hots for my wife.
Oh.
Now it got like...
Yeah. And did you ever feel like it was haunted?
No, but we were going to stay in the mental home itself. This is a true story.
Yeah.
This was a mental home from the 1800s that looked right out of a horror movie, dude. The tools, the things that would open their mouths, and the beds, and it was. And he just said, "Hey, you guys want from here down?" Like literally, like 6 rooms in a mental hospital that was all brick and old and lonely. I'll put a wall here, and I'll make that room 32A a kitchen. Like it was, but instead we stayed on the groundskeeper's house. The guy that was like the groundskeeper had his own house with all chickens and stuff. and we rented that. And it's called Falkirk Estates. Anybody can Google it up. In 1890, the owner of Falkirk was one of the gentlemen that invented the electric chair.
Wow.
That's how deep this whole story is.
Wow. But you never had any like ghost feelings?
No, I never had any ghost feelings.
Did anybody in the family or
No,
visitors?
not that I remember. Again,
Good.
we wind up staying in this one sole house with literally, imagine, you know how big an acre is? 400 by 400?
Yeah.
Imagine probably 15 or 20 acres with just a house in the middle.
Wow.
And it was the winter of 92 or 93, and the owner had an extra snow machine.
Like a snowmobile?
Commonly known as, and he gave it to us for the winter. And dude, we had...
He gave it to us or give it to your wife?
No, he gave it to me, my wife, and kids, and just said, I'm not going to use it.
That's cool.
And dude, we were on 15 acres, so what did we wind up doing?
Yeah.
Cutting our own paths.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so my wife and I would get drunk and go snowblowing.
Man, that's like a memory, huh? Like living in a mental institute. And what was it like? Was it like a Scooby-Doo episode? You know, like those crazy, creepy, like mansion?
It was, again, you could Google it up. When you pulled up, there was a huge black metal gate that...
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Then it was a good half-mile ride all through like a forest.
Yeah.
And then you saw the groundskeeper's house on the right. That's where we stayed. Then a big barn, a huge barn. And I wind up learning how to make the rustic furniture.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So in hindsight, it gave me a career.
I feel like especially when I'm looking at the tattoos like Ozzy, I feel like that'd be a great place to have like a recording studio that way, because the artist can just focus on their music, not have to distractions.
Then you went further up, and then there was this really scary looking brick building that looked like something from World War II, and that was the mental home. And to the right was the mansion. Where the big doctor would have lived.
Yeah.
And this guy just bought this place for like 10 cents on the dollar.
Wow.
I mean, he probably paid $200,000 or $300,000.
And he lived in the mansion?
He lived in the mansion, and he treated me like a
mental patient.
Like a mental patient. No, worse, like a plebe.
Oh.
You know, like I own you. You pay me rent.
Yeah.
And then it got even weirder when like I said, I think he might have had the hots for my wife, and then he had to extra plebe me. No one's ever said that before, to be plebed.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I'd be working in that wood shop with this guy, Pete, who taught me how to become, and I forgot the guy's name, Earl or Greg. He would come down and give people a tour of the property. So he'd say, this is the house that John DiResta rents. Then he would give people tour, like investors in his other businesses.
Yeah.
He'd then come into the wood shop and say, he would tell people, this is my wood business. And these two guys work for me. But we didn't even know that.
Wow.
But it wasn't. Pete, the guy, the main woodworker just rented from him. And this is what I didn't like. One day I was late on the rent, and he asked me in front of all these people, where's the rent? Like he asked me out, A-S-S-E-D. You know that term? In the ghetto?
Yeah.
He asked me out.
You got ass out.
Yeah, I got asked out.
By the way, I just noticed that we're both wearing the same shirt.
We both manage a cheesecake factory.
Hi, we're off our shift, and whenever you're off your shift at the Cheesecake Factory, you come by and you do a podcast. Yeah, look at us.
I wore this shirt with a tie at the Long Beach Laugh Factory, which I'm back in over the last couple of months.
Do you feel like a manager of a cheesecake? Because I never even thought that until you said that. If I put a tie on this, I would look like a...
So, well, let me explain.
Yeah.
I was at the Laugh Factory, and I wear this with a tie. I try and shave and look a little neat. And I introduced the gentleman, and he said, give it up for your host. He put a tie on tonight for you. He think he looked bad. He looked like he managed a cheesecake factory. Like he asked me out again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was funny.
It's funny that you say that, because I think that if I were to add I feel like I'm dressing up. Like it looks good to I've seen photos with me wearing this, but if I were to add a tie, for you when you wear it, it looks good. You look like what's that George Clooney thing, George
Clooney.
Yeah. If I were to put it on, I feel like I could possibly, I don't want to cross over in the category of
CVS manager.
Managing a CVS.
Aisle 7. Manager aisle 7.
You know what I noticed the kids are doing these days? And I was almost going to ask the lady at the Starbucks why they do it. Have you noticed this? This is why I'm saying we're at that age now where we're like not even trying to be cool, and they're piercing their nose right here, right above their lip. They got that hook thing, like a
Oh, it's
bull.
horrific. I can't
What is
stand
that?
it.
Have you
I don't
seen it?
know.
It's everywhere now.
I have a son that used to have that, and I didn't like it at all. Well, maybe his was a lip.
Women, I see a lot of women. I think guys are doing it too. They're doing their nostril, their nose
Oh, I don't
area.
like that at all. But you know what I want to get, and my 3 kids won't let me.
A face tattoo.
I want to get a face tattoo.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, yeah. It's hey, people get weird with their tattoos. When I say weird, I mean,
Look at me, dude. I'm a white trash animal.
yeah. I saw a guy who had a tattoo of like a whole like cabin and
Escape?
stuff, and yeah, like
Escape.
an escape.
How about you said to me once
Yeah.
they something along the lines that they'll fade, and I said I don't even care if they're just big ugly green blotches.
Yeah.
I don't even care. It just it has the street cred. It's inherent.
Lunches. Yeah,
It's inherent.
yeah.
I'm getting more, dude. I want to get one on my face.
What would it be of?
Just like the tiniest, maybe like a star or a half a moon, just so when people look at me, they're like, this fucking guy, what is he?
Yeah, he likes Lucky Charms.
He's douching it up.
He's a douche.
He's a douche from Long Island.
Have you regretted any of your tattoos
No,
yet?
not at all. No, not at all, dude. They're street cred.
Are these now? Were these all in prison or? No, I heard a podcast today where the guy was talking about they were almost all his tattoos are from prison, and I guess it gets detailed where people are like, "Who gave?" He goes, "Sometimes he's been checked, like, hey, who gave you that?" And
Well, how about
know.
this? Some corrections officers have to be they have to be specialists. Did you know this?
No.
They know what certain tattoos mean and what gang they're in.
Wow.
Their job is like, you know how some cops know, the graffiti cops know what this means and this means?
Yeah.
They know what tattoos mean. They photograph them and they have a file.
Wow. Like
Now, when I became a New York City cop in 1986, you know I was a cop, right?
yeah. If you guys don't know, he used to be a cop
In New York
in
City.
the 80s,
80s and 90s.
in the 90s.
And 2 different police departments, NYPD, the real job, and then transit down in the subway. I split my time. And when I got on in 86, they asked you if you have tattoos, and then you were interviewed by a psychiatrist, and you had to explain each tattoo and why
you
you got
did?
it.
Wow.
Well, that would never happen today.
Yeah.
And when I got to Austin, Texas to shoot, you know, I'm in a little bit of an iconic movie,
Yeah.
Miss Congeniality. The number one thing I thought Austin, Texas, I couldn't have been more wrong, was going to be cowboys and hillbillies.
Yeah.
And you've been there? It's hip people and hip music.
Yeah.
And every cop, you were allowed to wear shorts there because it's so hot on duty.
Yeah.
And every cop had snakes and spiders up their leg and around. One cop had a snake that started at his cankle and came up and went around his arm and ended on his hand.
Wow.
Like he had a 6-foot-long tattoo. So I was blown away how much ink, we call it
So
ink.
let's see what you got real quick. Wait, this is some sort of tiger, I believe.
Well, let's start on this
Let's
side.
start on this side. What was the first? Is the first one up here or no?
Well, there's a couple up here, but
Okay, yeah,
you don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
to see those because I lost weight, and so you know what these look like?
What do they look like?
Armginas.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they look like
Yeah.
a shaved armgina.
Do you ever lift weights and go, I look good? Then you hit that one angle, you're like, where the hell did that flab come from? I hate that.
Back in Long Island, every dirtbag had the Black Panther.
Yeah.
Everybody. Paulie Walnuts has
I don't
one.
know if you guys can see. Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that
Every
on camera.
gangster.
But
It's a weird angle.
Yeah,
But watch
a
this.
Black Panther.
Paulie Walnuts has one in real life, the actor. The Black Panther.
yeah.
Tony Soprano had a fake one, but it was a Black Panther. The character had one drawn on
Wow.
for the show. And I'm pretty sure in what was that great Tarantino movie where the bank robbed and then they took the hostage? What was that called?
No idea.
Oh, you don't know? Mr. Blonde, Mr. Pink.
Oh, yeah, that one. Reservoir Dogs. Yeah.
In that movie, I'm 99% sure that who's the guy from New York with the accent? Can't think of his name. I'm getting old.
And he had a tattoo?
He had the Black Panther.
Wow.
And then I'm pretty sure Robert De Niro's character in the movie Jackie Brown has one. So every dirtbag in Long Island had this Black Panther. So I got one. Then over here it says OG Flid. So I'm an OG.
Original gangster Flid is freaking Long Island douchebag.
Right. Then 1623.
Yeah.
That's my badge number as a transit cop.
Wow.
Then Ronnie James Dio.
Ronnie James Dio, who I've been listening to a lot on Ozzy's Boneyard, and he's actually really good.
Yeah. Then I got my kid's name, Matthew, Sabrina, and Shannon in a heart. And then this one is a Chinese. Here, give him the flashlight. I don't know if they could see
I don't know
that.
if you guys can see that. There's Chinese character writing right there. Can you see that? Is it on camera?
I don't know, somewhere.
Yeah.
So I got that on my 40th birthday. I went to a Mexican guy right here on Laurel Canyon and said, hey, I'm turning 40. I want to get something memorable. So I was open-minded.
Yeah.
And I had smoked a little bit of the, to take the edge off. And the guy was Hispanic. His name was Lemonade.
Really?
And Lemonade talked me into a Chinese symbol. Have you ever got a kanji, bro? It's deep.
A kanji?
Kanji.
Wow.
And we're looking through the book, and then this design comes up, and I go, that's the one. I identify with that. What does that mean? And it's two-part. He goes, it means I am everything.
Oh.
And I am nothing.
Wow.
I was deep, right? I was deep.
I'm everything and I'm nothing.
At the same time.
Wow.
Watch this.
Yeah.
I'm everything. I'm an actor, a father, a husband, soon to be a I'm everything.
Yeah.
I'm a comedian. I'm a woodworker.
Big deal. Now you're a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal.
I was a little deal. Now I'm a big deal. I'm everything.
And then I'm nothing.
I'm on a podcast.
I'm nothing. I'm just a maggot.
I'm on a maggot. Yeah, I'm on a podcast, but it's the Pocket Party podcast.
I'm a maggot. I'm everything and I'm nothing. I get the tattoo. I give the guy a $50 tip, Lemonade.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Go to a Chinese restaurant an hour later. Reach for the menu. Peacocking it. I'm crazy.
I'm one of you guys now, huh? Shout out to the culture.
And the waiter, older guy, probably owned it.
Yeah.
Why you got that on your arm? Why you got that? I said, because I am everything. And I am nothing. He goes, that don't mean that. That's number 65, beef and broccoli.
Hey-o. That's funny. That's a good joke. That's a great joke, by the way. But in reality, is it really?
No, it means something else that I've never told anybody.
Does it mean I am somebody and I am nothing?
It means no. It doesn't mean that.
That's really good.
Because a friend of mine had a huge neck tattoo and he gained weight, so now it was like 6 chins in the tattoo.
Yeah.
And I had asked him, "What does that mean? It looks cool." And he said, "It means I am everything,
and I am
nothing, dog."
Oh wow! So what? Do you reveal?
It's weird.
It's a secret,
it's a secret between me and one of my daughters.
Oh,
that's all.
And it means something in Chinese. Or
yes,
something.
and in the 23 years I've owned it, I'm pretty sure, or even more than that, 40 to 58, 18 years, a female comedian of Asian persuasion.
Wow.
Looked at it and said, "I know what that means."
Wow.
So only one person in 18 years.
Interesting. Does your daughter have the same tattoo?
No. She wanted to get that, but my one daughter has 1623.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. I saw it on her. And it's so cool because I remember the number. I've seen it. We've talked about it enough. Did she get it first?
She got it first, and she got it much bigger than I wanted. I have it twice. I wanted it big.
I got it twice. It's not a competition.
No, that's funny.
She's got it 3 times.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
No, this is 1623 was my shield number as a New York City transit cop in the subway, and I got lucky when the NYPD took us over. A lot of guys had to switch their shield number, like a professional baseball player goes to a team and the guy has it already. So 1623 was my number as a New York City cop.
Didn't you say somebody once was like, hey, is that when Ozzy was born, 1623 or something?
Yeah, someone asked me that. That was weird.
They weren't thinking. But I want to ask you, okay, so we've been watching the Police Academy movies.
Right.
And there's, and it's hilarious because I've yet to see an entire Police Academy movie.
Right.
The book was better. Just kidding.
Number 65.
Number 65, yeah. But I started watching like the Police Academy 1, and at the very beginning they were like, new female mayor, blah blah blah, whatever it says. Like the words are scrolling on the screen, and she wants to lower the standards for the Police Academy.
Oh right, you had mentioned that.
And that's how all the people are like people that always wanted to be a cop. Like that felt like they were getting crapped on in their life or whatever it was, or they were gun nuts or whatever. They were like, finally, I can be a cop. And so that's how the movie starts. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is almost like mirroring real life. It is. They've lowered the standards and lowered the standards. And I remember like them lowering the standards a while ago, like a year and a half ago or whatever it was. And now they've lowered them again. It just came out.
I got on in 1986 and the standards were through the floor already.
Yeah.
When I became a New York City cop, at the age of 21, this is what you needed to get hired. a high school equivalency diploma, and no felony convictions. That was it. I went in the academy with 2,900 guys. I'm in the biggest police academy class in the history of the world.
Wow.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And 200, if they had 2,900 guys in the academy, they had to go through 25,000 to get to them. And the standards were low back then. But now, did you hear about this safety ambassadors they're putting out?
No, is that true?
Oh,
wow, they're
dude,
gonna do
LA
it.
just hired 300 safety ambassadors.
Wow.
Fat, short.
Like security guards?
Like security guards that, if you don't like the police.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have someone show up that probably is not going to be that much of a help.
Yeah.
And a few of my radio guys I listen to were like, everyone knows it's a jack session. Everyone knows one of those guys is going to be brutally murdered in the next 24 hours.
Wow.
And everyone's like, yeah, thumbs up. Let's cut the ribbon. Like everyone's just...
So it's like not it's above a security guard though. Right? 'Cause
No,
it says LAPD.
I don't even know if it says that.
Yeah.
But in New York, we had auxiliary cops. So they worked for free. They had a uniform on, and they were nothing except a hassle.
That sounds
because
like
they would throw a guy to the ground. He was smoking a cigarette, officer.
Yeah.
And you know what I'd say? I don't care.
Yeah.
But he was smoking a cigarette. Yeah, but you just violated his rights.
Those guys are like gung ho.
They're gung ho, and every last one of them was a maggot. Every last one.
Wow.
Even so much so, I met a headlining comedian who you might know. I'm not going to say his name. Headlining comedian. When I first got into stand-up, he would kill, and he goes, "Oh, you're on the job. I'm auxiliary."
That's cool.
And I instantly thought less of him.
You're like,
Yeah, that was it.
I was at Griffith Park a couple of weeks ago, and there was dude, it was a crazy feeling. I'm coming down this trail, no one's really around, and a helicopter was like above, getting closer to me, and then started circling me, like pop, 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 pop,
Right,
pop,
right.
pop. And I'm like, is this my imagination? That's like the second time this thing's gone. And then it was the point where I was on the phone. I go, hold on, I'm gonna film this, and it went around me like 4 times, pop, 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 pop. And I thought, well, they're looking for someone. And then I see this other guy coming towards me, and I'm like, wow, what if they're looking for him?
Yeah,
it was kind of a creepy. But then
And he puts a gun to your head.
yeah, right. So I was kind of on guard, and then behind him was a little puny, little wimpy looking guy with a little dog, and I'm like, okay, there's And then both those guys who looked like they didn't know each other, they both looked up in the air like, what's that helicopter doing here? So
Yeah, wow.
So then I got out. Once I got off the trail into the main area, I saw this park ranger, and I saw all these cops. I saw these cops, and I saw some park rangers, and they were like driving around, and like woo woo, and the lights. And then some of them had no lights, and they were just kind of like getting together and going up here, making a U-turn.
Yeah, they were looking for somebody.
And then I saw this chubby ranger, and then I looked closer, and it said security. He wasn't a ranger.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, what's going on? And he goes, stolen vehicle. And he goes, they're looking for someone that stole a car. And I go, that's really dumb around here. There's so many cops and rangers, the police academy. And he goes, yeah. And I go, what did the suspect look like? Or what's the car look like? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, it was someone else's radio I heard it on. Like, he didn't even have his own radio. He was over there ear hustling, trying to pick up information.
Yeah.
That reminded me of what you said, those auxiliary guys.
Now watch this. If you saw the movie Daredevil, if you remember, the criminal or the bad guy was that. Do you remember the movie?
No.
Was that Irish guy with the dark hair? He's handsome. I don't remember. But the NYPD floats over him. A spotlight comes on. And you hear John DiResta. Keep your hands where we could see him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Let's give it. How'd the voice go? Here we go.
You in the red hat. Put your hands where I could see him.
Oh, that's good.
Put your hands where I could see him. Then, in the movie, where a guy, not the documentary, where a guy walks across the Twin Towers. John Philippe, or whatever his name is.
The tightrope walker.
In that movie, you hear John DiResta in the helicopter.
Wow.
And you come down off that we're going to arrest you when you get to the other end, but I said, can I ad-lib one? And they were like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Like they had no interest at all because I said I was a New York City cop.
Yeah.
And I went, be advised, if you don't come down off that wire, I'm going to come out there and get you. Like I didn't know what to say because and it was, you know what I mean? Like No. Don't record that.
Wow. So they didn't.
And my voice appears, and my New York accent appears in 3 Steven Spielberg movies.
Wow.
Kind of a big deal.
That's right. And by the way, the other night you did a set in North Hollywood, and afterwards you were complimenting a comedian, and you were asking him a lot of questions. And then I think at one point you told him you were a former cop, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, I'm getting a lot of cop vibes from you."
Yeah. That was funny. People,
Yeah.
I guess the way I talk, the way I look.
How long have you been doing comedy? Where did you start? What's your ethnic background? Where are you headed tonight?
Keep your hands where I can see them.
Keep your hands where I can see
Dude,
them.
that's a funny bit to just act like that. I never even, in 30 years of doing stand-up,
Yeah.
I never really thought of just coming in like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's like-
funny. Yeah, that's funny.
It was like you're interrogating the guy.
Yeah.
You're
I
a
got
funny
that
guy.
kind of
You're a
vibe.
funny guy. You're like you were complimenting him, but like
Yeah. That's
your parents
funny.
still married? You have siblings?
Yeah.
Well, you had to keep
Have
your
you
hands
ever
where I can
declared bankruptcy?
see- Have you ever declared? Yeah. Are you in good hands? Are you in good hands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the voice got me in Miss Congeniality with no audition.
So, what do you think of these? I want to ask you about these new. Do you know about the new police academy, like the new
I
requirements?
know that
they've
the
lowered?
NYPD just rejected a 1.5 mile run to
Wow.
graduate.
Yeah.
And even 39 years ago when I got on, if you couldn't do the run, it
Yeah,
didn't matter. They let you do it again. They let you do it again. They let you do it again.
Updated police academy requirements, LAPD. Let's see if I can find it.
You might need college in some of them, but now they're so desperate for people.
Right. Oh God. Meet the department's personal standards, including honesty and integrity. I mean, how would they know?
Yeah.
Not having any felony convictions. Okay.
See, it doesn't say felony arrests.
That's true. Ooh, convictions. Have a high school diploma or GED.
Yeah, you go.
Be 21 or older at the time of hire. Be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident alien who has applied for citizenship. So you can apply for it, but wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's being a cop is a tough spot. Tonight I did set 6685.
Wow.
6,685. And when I said I was a cop, there was about 30 people in the audience. One guy clapped really loud.
Wow.
And 29 people didn't clap.
They're just like, so, or just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And how would that have been like 20 years ago?
Oh, you'd get the applause.
It's like,
You'd
yeah, oh,
you know,
wow.
that guy could save my life.
Yeah.
I say this all the time, and we went over this, so we don't have to go in detail. But every single cop that these people dislike would give their life for that person that dislikes them. And guess what? That person wouldn't give their life for anybody.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw a lot of New York City cops really that didn't care, that slept, that got drunk. You know what I mean? That looked for a little coochie on job time. That when the chips were down, they were there.
They were there. They were like, wow. Interesting.
Cheers.
Man. Cheers. I'm, man, I got to tell you, I've had some luck lately with the social media. You know, I've been filming my shows, editing the videos, putting them up. And it feels really, I mean, I like your brother, like, you know, I'm not like your brother, but I mean, like he's had that success with it. It feels really good to finally, and I want to thank you guys if you checked out any of my TikTok stuff or YouTube stuff. It's like to finally get on YouTube thousands of people that are watching these videos, and on TikTok I've had some that have hit millions. Like
Wow.
I probably have about 10 videos in the last 4 months that have gone either over 1 million or like right up there to it. And by the time this comes out, maybe they'll have
Rolled
gone
over to
it.
the podcast.
It's It's and I don't even know if there's a relation between the podcasts, and there might be if I cut up more clips and stuff. But it's just it's an interesting time that we live in. You know, like you know, they're lowering the standards with police, but then on this, I mean, there's all these changes. Like with stand up, it's like it used to be one way. You'd show up to a gig in the '90s and calling card, and you're just out there lonely. And then now you have cell phones, and now you have the internet, and you know you've seen it, right? When no comedian would film themselves, and now it's like they call it clip fishing, where the goal is to go do a bit, get a clip of it, blow it up on the internet, and then you know your life could change.
I
like
have
that,
one tonight.
You know,
I have one tonight. Can I tell you what it is?
yeah.
Now, for some reason at this club I was at tonight, there's a little table next to the microphone and a beer pitcher, and people put money in it. If they do a dirty joke, the bartender female is so sick of hearing dirty jokes that they have to pay.
Oh, it's cool.
If they do a really vicious dirty joke, they put a 5 or a 10 in there. So tonight I finished my bit that, I don't know if you know this, but any minute, literally any minute, I can get a phone call. I'm going to be a grandfather for the first time. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal. And I know I look too young to be a grandfather, but, you know. Ouch. So I said, in L.A., you can't even say grandfather. In L.A.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a grand them or a grand they. You know what I mean? Or a grand she.
Yeah.
I can't identify that I'm a man. I'm not even allowed. And I said, what's this world coming to that people don't know the difference between a man and a woman? I mean, are we really supposed to believe that? They ask a woman that's going to be in the Supreme Court at a hearing, can you identify a woman? And she said, well, I'm not a scientist, so I can't answer that.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, look, I'm not a scientist. I'm a maggot from Long Island with 9 college credits. And I know the difference between the two. A man has a dick, and a woman has a contrarian view of everything the man does, says, thinks, believes in, wants to watch. And that got such a big laugh, I was going to throw the mic down.
Wow.
But I've already been told, don't drop the mic. Someone broke it, and I have to pay for it. The guy that books the show.
Oh, for sure.
So I got such a big laugh. This is tonight. I went and I just stuck it in the beer thing and walked off.
Oh, in the tip jar.
It was I stuck it in the tip jar.
That's funny.
So I'm saying, if I'm going to learn how to edit and put a clip up, that's tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the
and
thing.
It's a nice backdrop. I'm not in a Chinese restaurant.
Right.
I'm not at the Punjab Palace.
Yeah.
You ever see some of these guys are so desperate to put up videos, and we see 65 empty chairs and a guy making a pizza over his right shoulder. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Dude,
and he's doing a bit that's not even
Let's
funny.
tell the story, because the guy that we have a mutual friend. He told me he'll never see this. I'm not going to say his name, but he goes, I never listen to podcasts. He's got a whole other bunch of things on his mind, but he paid a videographer, some great money, right? These 2 young kids. This comic, he stepped away from his midlife crisis and then was like, I'm going to be a comedian. He moved to LA. This is his 3rd time coming to LA. And he paid these guys like some great money. And he's on a dance floor in a ballroom, and there's like people eating behind him, and sadly they put those people in the shot. So as he's doing his comedy, you're seeing
people that aren't interested at all.
And they probably couldn't hear him. The speakers are probably facing the other way.
Or we've all done shows where there's people eating in the corner, and it's the horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific. I did a private party.
So he's doing this real quick. He's doing his comedy, and he told me about it. And because I didn't really notice it, and then when I went back and looked, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because you see him doing his comedy, and in the background, just in the very corner of the video, you see people kind of like looking like not entertained at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just don't be that. Real quick, I'll tell you, if you're gonna put a video out, this is if there's any comedians watching this. Some hot tips I learned is zoom in as much as you can, only on yourself, so that way you pretty much fill the screen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't want you to be like this little tiny ant, and then, like you said, the camera's 50.
Somebody else we know posted something where they it looked like he was in the basement of a concentration camp with the lighting.
Exactly, because we're so desperate. These guys are so. I'm desperate too, but like, listen. I was talking to a buddy of mine about selling merch on the road, and he was telling me he's a younger comedian. He goes, and he's like, when I say younger, he's probably like 40,
right?
And he's telling me, he goes, yeah, dude, the next wave. They don't even sell merch anymore. They're not trying to be like selling bumper stickers and T-shirts. He goes, they're all about getting great cameras, camera crews, like guys that they take on the. I know this one guy. He brings he doesn't have a manager. So he takes that 10% and he hires a guy to go on the road with him. He tells the club to, I want a hotel room. He gets his own hotel room, the camera guy.
Wow.
And the guy shoots him and films his stuff. And then he gives he pays that guy 10% of what he makes that weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, and that guy, it's like a younger camera guy, so he's excited to get a flight and a hotel room and get to go out and film people and go to Austin, Texas, or wherever.
Wow.
And guess what? My buddy that I was talking to, that's 40. He's like, yeah, they're not selling merch anymore, really. Like, they're not focused on that. Like, some of these older guys, they're like, where's the merch table? And I'm like, but
that's you.
It is. I know exactly, but I'm all around. I'm a full I'm a fully loaded business guy. I'm a stand-up, a writer. I film, I edit, I do the merch, I do the. But you know what I mean, though. But seriously, there's one guy that I'm thinking of is just like, he has never written a joke in 40 years. He walks into the first thing he says is, "Where can I put the merch table?" And then he's also featuring. He's not even the main headliner. And then the headliner who's 40 was complaining, going, "This guy, get off stage. He's got like the best merch spot." I'm like, what the,
Oh, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
This positioning of the merch.
Yeah, exactly. But the 40-year-old guy was telling me these young guys, they get the camera crew, blah, blah, blah. Because guess what? You get that one clip, and then it gets seen by millions. And then now you're doing theaters and arenas. Who cares about your stupid bumper sticker money?
Right. Watch this clip tonight could make, we all think this.
Yeah.
But it's so anti-woke. And it has the C word in it.
Oh, did you film it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It looks
You
great.
did film. Oh, good.
Oh, dude, it looks great.
And hopefully the audio sounds good too.
Hold on, I'm going to.
And because I was going to say, what you could do is to step up the game, get like these wireless Rode microphones that you just stick on your collar. That way the audio is really loud and they can hear that. Oh, you're trying to find it? Is that it right there? It looks good. It looks great.
Right? It looks like a real club. And then hold on, I just walked off. Watch this. I just threw my hand in the air like I'm sick of all yous.
Oh, yeah. What about Chris Rock? He did the mic drop. He spiked the mic. He didn't just drop it. He threw it down. But then again, you can do that when you. I've had a couple of. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'll just play it real quick.
Oh no, you're going to make me watch one?
No, you're not going to watch. Look at these are 15 seconds. Look at this one, you guys. This one got 3.5 million views.
Women like I like my swim goggles. Wet, tight, and on my face.
Oh yeah. There you go. That's funny.
Isn't that good? I like my women like I like my swim goggles. I got stumped the other day, and I put that video on YouTube. Here's the thing. Another thing I'm learning: double dip. I got I put the video up of the joke working. 15 seconds. Like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that place. That way more, people see it and they start following you and subscribing. But then I also put the longer version, which is about a minute and a half, where I couldn't think of anything and I got stumped. And I titled it "Comedian Gets Stumped." And I'll tell you, I couldn't think of anything. I like my women like I like my. I want to see if you could come up with something.
Okay.
Ready?
This is the word.
This is the word. Here we go. I like my women like. Oh, you do the I like my women like I like my, and I'll give you the word. Here we go.
I like my women like I like my
ghost.
Spooky and hard to find. I don't know.
That's good. That would have got a laugh.
Okay,
that would have got a laugh. Yeah, I couldn't think of shit, dude. I was just
you had me. That's
I was
funny.
like, yeah. And I tell the crowd, I go, I don't like ghosts. I don't like that. And I just kind of talked my way out of it. And then I thought of this bit, I had this thought the other day. Somebody came around a corner and I spooked them, right? They didn't know I was there and they went, "Oh!" And I went, I should have, and in my mind, I thought I should have made some noise. And I thought maybe that's what ghosts do. That's why ghosts are like, "Hey," like I'm over here, or they jingle their keys like to so I kind of riffed around it. And then it just hit me on stage and I went, "Oh, I got it, you guys, I got it. I like my women like I like my I go, you guys yell out ghost. Okay, you ready? I like my women like I like my
ghost.
I like my women like I like my ghost. Moaning. Woo. Right?
Oh, yeah,
Moaning,
there you go. I get it.
And then later on, I could have been like, under the sheets. Woo. Or giving me a boo job.
Oh, yeah, boo job I like.
Give me that mic. Drop it in that beer bucket.
I like my women like I like my number 65 beef and broccoli.
Oh, you want to do it? I like my women like I like my...
Number 65, beef and broccoli.
4 away from 69.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All over my orange chicken.
I had orange chicken yesterday.
How was it?
From a place called Discount Chinese Food.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You should talk about that. Was it good or no? And was it on Laurel Canyon? Is that place still there?
No, it's on Van Owen and Laurel Canyon. It might be it. No, I had half, and then I had the other half later last night.
By the way, did you live here when they had that North Hollywood bank robbery?
No, I was a cop.
You were a cop?
They just had the 30th anniversary.
Wow.
It was 95.
Was it 95?
Yeah, something like 93 or something.
No, because I was in L.A. at the time, so...
I don't know, but it was like 28 years.
Maybe I wasn't in L.A. I thought I was.
No, that's the longest shootout in the history of America, 45 minutes.
Wow.
Dozens of years later, when I lived here, the lawsuit got ended because the parents of the two criminals sued. Because I don't know if you know, an ambulance didn't come for like a half hour. So they think that they let them die.
February 28th, 1997. Wow.
Okay. No,
yeah.
I was still in New York.
You guys, I'm going to read this to you real quick. Okay.
So it's 25 years.
Yeah. The North Hollywood shootout was a confrontation between two heavily armed and armored bank robbers. Larry Phillips Jr. and whatever that last name is, Emil Matas, whatever, a member of the LAPD. Wow. Look at these guys. Both robbers were killed. 12 police officers and 8 civilians were injured, and numerous vehicles and property were damaged or destroyed by nearly 2,000 rounds of ammunition fired by the robbers and police. I remember they were going to like gun stores to get more backup.
They were breaking into them and just stealing them.
That's crazy. The cops were. They were like, we need help now.
Okay, here's my story about the
9:16
shootout.
in the morning. Wow.
Here's my story about the shootout.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago, I was at the pie shop. Remember the pie shop that used to do comedy?
Yeah.
Out in Valencia? Mm-hmm. And it was some kind of animal rescue. You know, it was packed. If they hold 70 people, there was 120 people.
Yeah. Ooh.
Standing room only.
Nice.
I killed, right? I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I come off stage.
At the pie shop. Did they give you a pie?
No pie, no pay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of those. No pie, no pay at the end of the email. That's okay because I got the story.
Yeah.
I come off stage and there's a guy well-dressed. He's bombed. Man, you so funny. If you ever want to buy a Range Rover, Ventura, Encino, I sell Range Rovers. This is my father. He loved you. Little short, stout Mexican guy. Huge handlebar mustache. Shaved head. Looks right out of the movie Training Day.
Yeah.
Like one of the bad guys. He goes, never in my life have I laughed so hard, dog.
Really?
I had tears down my eyes. I had tears down my eyes. He goes, were you really a cop? I said I was. He goes, I was LAPD.
Wow.
Till I got shot in the shootout on North Hollywood.
Wow.
I got grazed in the skull. He's one of the cops that got shot that day.
Damn.
Down my eyes, fucker.
Wow.
Down my eyes. I never laughed so hard. That's a true story.
Did you talk to him more about that night?
I'm sure I did. I don't, it was day.
Yeah. It was a daytime show?
No, the shootout was during the day. I see you asking about that night.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, a good 15 years later, in like 2010, 2015, it made the news again because the parents of both of those guys sued.
Wow.
Because they let our sons bleed out. That was the term.
Wow.
Because if they have it, it's evidence that like the ambulance didn't get there till 25 minutes later when they should have been on the site. And do you know how they finally got them down? They were so heavily armed.
No.
A cop laid on the ground because they were behind cars and shot them in the ankle. That was the only part of the body that had no body armor. They had helmets, face masks.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Like they thought they could get away with it.
Down my eyes, fucker.
Wow.
And then FX did the movie. And who played one of the Ukrainian bank robbers?
Oh, they were Ukrainian?
Yeah, there was something like that.
Wow, or something like that.
My friend, Oleg Takhtarov, a former UFC fighter that used to fight two guys at once in a cage. He would fight two guys at once.
Wow.
In a UFC-like atmosphere.
Yeah.
And he was the actor in the movie 15 Minutes, along with myself and Robert De Niro. And after 15 minutes, he went and shot the 45-minute shootout for FX. He played one of those guys.
Wow.
So I could top every story. I'm kind of a big deal.
Were you ever in any kind of what was the highlight as far as that goes in your cop career? Like
never was in a shootout.
What was the most where your heartbeat was like dun 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 dun? Oh shit! This is like. Do you have some of those moments? And would you want to talk about it?
Yeah. There was two in Brooklyn and in the Bronx. Two different incidents about 5 years apart. We were flagged down by guys that were just robbed at gunpoint, carjacked. You know, and we're the first cop car they see. And you can't really squash that. You can't just go, oh, we have a call. Like, in other words, this guy just got held up at gunpoint. And when I was in Brooklyn, I was with a sergeant, and we both, without talking to each other, didn't look for the criminal car. Like, in other words, the guy goes, he might have went down that way, so we would make a right.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't want to, who wants to get involved with a guy with a gun?
Yeah.
Just because you have a badge and you get paid $300 a week.
Yeah.
I'm not losing my eye or getting my head blown off.
So the bad guy probably was like, oh, good, they turned. But
Well, I'm just saying, we never really saw them, but we weren't looking. Yeah. We made like we were. Whoop, 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 whoop. But I'm telling you, the sergeant, just as soon as this guy got in the car, the sergeant went like this. And I just knew from his eyes.
Yeah.
And this is a true story, and it's a little bit dirty, but it's a true story.
You could say it. We're deep into the podcast.
We had just bought Chinese food.
Yeah.
For real.
Dude, this is a whole Chinese...
Me and Sergeant Bravada, number 65.
Yeah.
Me and Sergeant Bravada, and after a little bit of... And the Chinese food was in the back seat, and after a little of looking, he just goes like this to me. So he's sitting right in the back, and he just was robbed at gunpoint. And Sergeant Bravada just goes like this. You're driving, you're me. And he's like, get rid of him. Get rid of him. He's telling me to get rid of the guy.
Oh, and he's like pretending to like, look.
Get
rid of him. Get rid of him.
Dude, get rid of him.
Yeah.
And then Sergeant just goes, do you smell that? The guy shit in his pants.
Oh, no.
When the gun was pointed at him. And now he's sitting on a wet turd.
Oh, no.
And Tony Bravada goes like this, do me a favor, give me that Chinese food. Just give me the Chinese food. He didn't want the Chinese food near the aura of the stench.
Wow.
So we pull up, we were transit. So we pull up in front of an NYPD
You were
precinct.
trans before it was cool.
Yeah. People have said that. We pull up in front of the 6-2 precinct in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And we go, look, guy, we're transit. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it in the hate. This is all in 3 minutes. Unless your car was stolen in the subway, there's really nothing. Go inside there and tell them what happened. He steps out of the passenger side back seat. He goes to walk away, and he leans back in the window where the sergeant is right here, and you're me. And he goes, can I just get your names and badge numbers? And without missing a beat, we both went like this. In unison. And I yelled past the sergeant, they call us Batman and Robin from transit. And I made it up.
Wow.
I made it up.
And then you drove off.
And then we were...
Wow. Why he wanted that? Just to
go inside and tell him, I started to look for the guys with these two cops.
These guys helped me out.
Yeah, these guys helped me out. Dude, Batman and Robin, I made it up.
Wow.
Then 5 years later, I got transferred to the Bronx.
Yeah.
And I'm in a police car with a cop I don't know. Right? I'm new to the precinct.
Yeah.
And I'm in and we get flagged down. I was just robbed at gunpoint. Same deal. All right, hop in. Now the guy driving is looking for the car. And it even went through my head. No Hollywood writer could write this.
Yeah.
We're going past the White Castle, past the hookers. I think he went that way. Bop, 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 bop. And I just went, oh my God, he's really looking for the guy. And the guy has a gun. He's looking for the guy. Yeah. Like, this is going to get serious. This could get serious.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. 10-13.
And you're sitting there going, I might have to use this thing.
I might have to. It's rusted shut.
Yeah.
It's fused to the holster. It's never come out.
Yeah.
Dude, once a year you had to go and shoot your gun.
Yeah.
And you get scored and you clean it. And guess what I got for 12 years? Hey, John, it's Frank Genovese. You got the day off tomorrow and you got 100. You're a sharpshooter. That was it. I got off because I was funny. Yeah. This guy liked that I was funny.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so the gun was never cleaned. He's looking for the guy, and then all of a sudden, now he's driving. He's a Hispanic cop, and he looks at me and just goes, he's shitting his pants, dude. He's shitting his pants. Let's get rid of him.
Oh, wow.
Again. This guy shitting his pants.
Wow.
Now we're driving. This is daytime, too. We're driving.
So it's such a scary thing that it seems like this is happening
your shit
quite
string
often.
It's a true story.
Wow.
Your shit string just goes.
Wow.
It somehow.
That's scary. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. So watch this.
Wow.
Now I'm driving with a guy. He said, let's take him back to the District 11. That's where we worked.
Yeah.
Instead of just shelling him off,
yeah,
he drove 100 miles an hour through the Bronx, through crowded neighborhood. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Wow. That's scary.
To get rid of the stench.
Yeah. Oh, the windows were down and shit like that.
The funniest thing was get rid of him.
I know. I got a ride in a cop car once from Mel's Diner back to the Laugh Factory in Sunset.
Right.
And the cop, because they recognized me from a comedy show, right? And the guy was a big fan. Cop was a big fan. And it was probably 2:30 in the morning. So there's nobody on Sunset. And he floored it. And we're it actually was, at the time, it was really fun because you feel like, I'm in a cop car. This is safe.
Right.
And then later on, you're like, wow, that's kind of dangerous. It's just a car. It's not like he has
it's way dangerous.
It's not like it's
The funnest thing ever
movie set or
was being
something.
in a police car because we were very rarely in a car. We were subway cops.
Can I finish the story real quick? And I'll tell you, and then finish your story. I told my wife, I was all excited. I was like, I can't believe it, man. I got to be in the back of a police car. Like I was a fan. We drove. And then she was like, ew, I hope he puts her clothes in the laundry. You know who sits back there? Like,
Yeah, Skells.
right, yeah, like all these, like, you know.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, and it was weird because the whole back of the cop car was like this whole plastic because they probably just hose it off a lot.
Eee.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird.
This is a true story. My friend Owen Steele was a detective in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Car chased. He's chasing a wanted criminal, maybe for even something really bad. A car chase ensues. The guy gets in an accident, but lives. So they drag him out of the car, and his colostomy bag busted open in the accident, and he's covered from head to toe with wet diarrhea. That's why you don't get involved with police work.
Yeah.
Because now you're stuck with that guy for hours.
Yeah.
In the cell,
Yeah.
the whole thing. There was one other thing I was going to tell you. Something about the police car. It's going to bother. Oh, the funnest thing as a cop, the
Yeah.
funnest thing
Yeah.
is to go to a 1013 or shots fired, like a real call, lights and sirens, listening to heavy metal. Listening to Ozzy, Prong.
Oh.
The 89.5 was a heavy metal station.
Oh, wow.
Out of Seton Hall College in Staten
Wow.
Island. And we listened to 89.5 all the time. Real death metal. Like metal you would
Wow.
never hear except on Liquid Metal on
Yeah.
And dude, we would go to calls on 1013 with Ozzy Osbourne blasting. And then one night we had two different times. Three times. I was in a homeless outreach van. So the big church vans that have like 6 seats?
Yeah.
Packed, sold out, standing room only with 25 stinkers in the back. Stinkers. Stinkers. One of them's nickname was the Onion.
Do you just keep your windows down the whole time?
Yeah, they stink.
Even in the winter, you're just like...
Yeah, well, it's just part of the job.
Yeah.
And one night at South Ferry, we were listening to Prong. You never heard of Prong, right?
No.
Snap your fingers, snap your neck. You should put it on. How heavy it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were listening to Prong. Another night up in Columbus Circle, pouring rain, nasty. We listened to Fairies Wear Boots by Black
Oh,
Sabbath.
that sounds good. I like that one.
And then I'm in a documentary, a really well-made documentary. I'm kind of a big deal about the homeless outreach unit. And this scene didn't make the documentary because they couldn't get the rights. They didn't want to pay for the rights. And it was a Who song, and I can't remember, but it was just 15 dirty, wet. They smell like wet dogs when it's raining out.
Yeah.
The whole van smells like a wet dog. Yeah. And this guy just was zoomed in on everyone's face while I think it was, you better, you better, you bet.
You better. That's funny.
It was a song by The Who, and it was just this great, sad scene that didn't make the documentary.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up. In closing, I want to ask you, is there something that you've recently discovered or something that's made you a little bit happier?
It's funny,
Where
you're
you're
the
like-
second person to ask me that in the last 2 hours. Daniel Kino said, so what gets you excited now? I said, it's a weird thing. I've been doing it for years, but when I don't have my helper at the workshop and I'm all alone and I'm not making a custom order, I'm making something that I'm just going to put for sale, and I'm listening to Black Sabbath, I may have taken the edge off, and every 15 minutes I bronze. And I have a cup of coffee.
Bronze means you go outside and get some sunlight.
Yeah, on a break.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like tomorrow I'll be at the workshop alone, and it's really relaxing. And I'm making something that I don't have to get the color right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And watch this. I'm just grabbing. I have stacks of old wood. I'm just like, this will be the top.
And what you do is you make a table or
make something that's just one of a
and
kind.
then you take
It can
photos of it and you go, it's for sale.
It's
Hit
for
me
sale.
up.
And I did that the other day. I made a commercial. Hey, everybody, John DiResta, this table. I don't put the price out. And within 15 minutes, 2 different people in LA. And I said, if you don't live in LA, I could hold it because people will rent a truck and drive to pick up stuff for me. And I sold this table in 1 hour to Alan Murray, the comedian.
Wow, that's cool.
But my point, to answer your question, there's this freedom of like, I'm being creative. I'm probably going to make a little money with it. And my notebook is out to go over my stand-up act. So if something goes through my mind, my notebook is positioned a foot away from where I'm working. You dig what I mean? And then with this, you could change the music. I could listen to a whole album of...
Yeah. That's great, because that's one of the keys to happiness is to find a hobby that can make you money, a hobby that can
I never thought of
get
that.
you in shape or fit, get a hobby that it's just
and
fun.
also, since you and I started doing these, I've been doing a lot more sets. I've been doing almost 5 or 6 sets a week, every 24 hours. So I'm looking forward to, switching it up a little. Like, if the audience is X, Y, or Z, trying something on them.
Yeah.
Can we go out on prong? Snap your fingers?
I can't, because they'll the copyright of YouTube and stuff. But
all right.
But I like that.
I thought we were friends.
We are.
Kind of a big deal.
He's a big deal, and I like that we're both wearing the black shirts. That's hilarious. But,
You manage a CVS, and I manage a Cheesecake Factory.
That's right. We both hand out long receipts.
I'm really glad, and people don't know this. This is a little secret about me. I've been on my own work-wise for 25 years, right? Hustling between comedian, this, that. 25 years, no steady paycheck. And at the very beginning of the pandemic, when they said the whole world's going to shut down, and, I thought no comedy, no woodworking. I just thought my salaries that I hustle for were going to dry up. And I went to Home Depot. And not only did I get a job at Home Depot, I got a job independent of Home Depot where I go, hi, do you need a new air conditioning or heater? We just need your name. And it turns into a lead.
Yeah.
And guess how many people say no?
How many?
99.9999% don't want to be bothered.
Wow.
You're on your feet. It's a bad salesman thing to people that don't want it. And then if you do a 4-hour shift, at every hour, they're like, how many names did you get? John, doing a good job over at NoHo, Home Depot in Sun Valley.
Wow.
Like they check every hour.
Wow.
And you're on your feet. It was horrific. So the fact that I'm now, doing my own thing, I woodwork.
And you're getting calls like the guy tonight asked you to do a show, and you get the cut of the door.
Oh, guess who just contacted me to make a table today? I call it a lead or a Mitch and Murray or a muskrat. Mm-hmm. Guess who's a high-end muskrat?
Who?
Jack Jr.
Wow.
He's got a huge billboard table that he wants me to make a cap. So it could use as a dinner table when he has people over, like a lounge.
Yeah.
So I would have to make a big cap that's finished the same as the side of the pool table.
Let me ask you a question. When you do, a pool table?
It's a pool table.
Oh, you said billboard table.
I think it was billboard.
Oh, billiard.
What did I say? Billboard table.
I was like,
That's stupid.
I was like, what's a billboard table?
Dude, I'm a schmuck.
I zoned out. Right when you said billboard, I was like, this is a boring story.
I'm from Long Island.
But now I'm back into the story. It's a billiard table.
It's a billiard. I would have never thought of that.
Wow, that's cool. Now it's cool.
But from far away, it's going to look like a finished tabletop.
Yeah.
And then you lift it off and move it to the side.
Oh, that's cool. And last question: when you go to that trading post on Melrose, how many tables do you bring on a Sunday?
I used to bring like 5 or 6 big tables like this, and then 12 benches.
In the back of a truck?
In the back of
do
a
you have
pickup
trailer,
truck. No, usually it's a pickup. Or back in the day, I brought so much stuff I would rent a truck.
Yeah.
U-Haul. But now I would need someone to unload and load. So now I bring smaller tables, benches, and hold on.
Careful, your earphones. Just say it. Don't even show us.
Right in this box behind me. I have a new business card.
Oh, okay.
That I'm going to hand out.
Okay.
And I just wanted you to see it. But if you don't want to see it, that's okay.
I'll grab it.
Go
I'm
ahead.
afraid you're going to stand up and spill something.
Or kick the camera.
Right. Exactly.
Don't kick the camera.
Don't kick it. Here we go. Look. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, there you go. So I think I'm going to get more work. Now turn it over. Look at the other side.
Wow.
Right? That looks like it has a value, like you'd put that on your fridge.
That's good. I like that.
Did you see what it said under John DiResta's name?
What did it say?
Jesus was a table maker.
Oh, that's clever. That's good.
I'm a comedic Jesus.
That's right. You are. All right, buddy. Well, I want to thank you for, again, coming on the Pocket Party Podcast. It was great to be here in live, on camera, in the flesh, not on a phone. Here we are. And you guys, do us a huge favor. Leave a comment below. Give it a thumbs up. And tell people about the Pocket Party Podcast. And go to Apple, go to iTunes, and give it a review. It does help a lot. So thank you so much.
Can I say one last thing?
Yeah, you can.
Hack Lives Matter.
Yeah. See ya. All right, that was cool.
Yeah. And then watch this. This might make this thing even more viral.
A billboard table. That's funny.
That's funny. Like I'm such a fucking stupid
I was
asshole.
like, what the fuck is a billboard table?
Dude.
Yeah.
And I saved you because I didn't want to be uncouth.
Yeah.
This is the eating ass jar.
Yeah.
So if you do a joke about eating ass, you have to put money in. So I didn't say that. I saved the story.
Oh, that's funny.
I just said a dirty joke.
Yeah, that's good. Because it's so hacky that she's like, can you, that's why they have that eating ass thing, right? It's so hacky. All these dumb comics are doing that shit now.
I know, it's gross.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to The Pocket Party.